I honestly do not know what to call them at the moment, but these pro-illegal immigration, these anti-deportation protests are really starting to pick up steam. I was thinking that as we get closer to summer, that these movements, these protests would grow, but they're already growing. Depending on where you live, they may already be happening in your city. And I'm someone who fully supports the right to protest, but I got to admit, these are the dumbest protests I have ever personally seen in my entire life. Like, I can understand why some people are upset. And I can even place myself in someone's shoes that maybe has a family member that's here illegally, and you're upset that they're being sent back because maybe they're not a violent criminal. Maybe they did come over here for a better life and they were a hard worker and they've done everything right. But, you know, coming into this country illegally is still illegal. That's a crime in itself, and that's something people seem to have forgotten. It's not like America is the big bad wolf. You, as an American citizen, you can't just illegally cross into another country and go live there. What do you think these other countries would do to you? I can promise you they would not treat you as good as America treats illegal immigrants. I mean, illegal immigrants are given thousands of dollars to go grocery shopping, and they're put in 5-star hotels overlooking freaking Central Park in Manhattan. So I can tell you right now, you will never get that type of treatment as an American citizen illegally in another country. But when I'm looking at these protests, they seem so idiotic and dumb to me because they're protesting, you know, illegal immigrants being sent back home, right? And a lot of these protests, they seem to be dominated by Mexican flags. So they're protesting Mexicans being sent back to Mexico, and they're waving their Mexican flags, and it just doesn't make sense to me. You're so proud of Mexico, you're waving Mexican flags in America, and you're upset that America is sending people back to Mexico. And your answer to that is to go wave American flags? If you're so proud of Mexico, shouldn't you be happy that these people are being sent back to Mexico? Like, if you're so ready and willing to go wave the American or the Mexican flag everywhere, why don't you go to Mexico and do it? And I'm not saying that as, like, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm not trying to be like America. You know, I'm not trying to be that type of person here. And I'm not trying to sound too cliche or however you want to put it, but it doesn't make sense. You're upset that people are being sent back to Mexico, so your answer is to wave Mexican flags and burn American flags? These people are out here burning American flags. They're getting offended when people pull up with American flags, yet they're here in America, and they're so angry about being sent home from America. It's like I'm trying to make sense of it, but I cannot put myself, you know, in their shoes when it comes to this. I don't understand what's going through these people's minds. And I feel like this is just evidence that we are surrounded by drones, NPCs that can't think for themselves. I mean, it just doesn't add up. None of it makes sense in the least bit. Like, these people are literally gathering together to express their hatred of America, gathering together to congregate and scream over, you know, freaking microphones about how bad America is, how evil America is, screw America, F America. And then we say, hey, well, we'll send you back to wherever you came from. It's, no, oh my God, how could you? You're evil. But it's like, wait, you said America is evil and screw America, F America, you hate America. So we're sending you back to your homes that you love so much. And then you freak out about it? You're out here in the streets, Viva la Mexico, waving your Mexican flag, talking about how bad America is, and then when we send you back to Mexico, oh, we're evil? It's like, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be out here expressing pride for a country that I would freak out about being sent to. And it shows you the mentality of some of these people, the entitlement, and that's something that I can't stand. If you're coming to this country, you need to love this country. You could try to chase the American dream, that's fine, but you need to appreciate and value this country and appreciate the fact that you're here. You don't come from these other countries where you're going through problems and bring your shit slop to America, which is what a lot of these people want to do. They don't want to come here and be prideful Americans and follow the American dream. They want to bring their shit slop to America and turn America and American cities into third world countries that resemble the places where they came from.
Chambly at Plaza Fiesta right now. A popular social spot is known to welcome immigrants. This is video from earlier this afternoon when protesters went marching down Buford Highway. Now that is the exact spot where we find 11 Alive's Joe Ripley live for us this evening. He is following that protest for us. Joe, what is it like out there right now?
Well, Angelina, this protest is now in its 5th hour here on Buford Highway at the Plaza Fiesta. Let me step out so you can see what we are seeing out here. It seems like the police presence out here has doubled within the last hour since we've been out here. It's been a mostly peaceful rally and protest this evening. Police actually blocked off about a mile of Buford Highway here in Chambly. They have since edged that up a little bit, only about maybe a half mile or so blocked at this point to protect the protesters here at Plaza Fiesta. A number of community groups have helped organize this rally, calling for better human rights and an end to the raids that protesters say have sparked fear in the immigrant community. As of today, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, reports they've arrested nearly 6,000 people and lodged nearly 4,500 detainers. But as you can see from all the different flags protesters have waved here today, the message here remains: despite the deportations and roundups, they're united over a common cause.
People here, they come and protest for the people that can't speak, and for the people like me that have parents that don't have the option to speak, we could speak for them.
And I asked police just how long they expect today's rally to go. They had no set timetable, so they could be out here a little while longer. We're also monitoring things on the ground here as things develop here at this rally at Plaza Fiesta. Coming up tonight at 11, you're going to hear from the Georgia GOP on the impact they say the recent last couple of weeks of roundups and arrests have had, not only here in Metro Atlanta, but across the state of Georgia as well. We're live in Chambly tonight. Joe Ripley, 11 Alive News.
Mark my words, over the coming days, the coming weeks, and the coming months, these protests will grow. We will most likely see violence in the streets. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done with, these protests will have the exact opposite effect of what they intended these protests to do. Because you're not going to win over the hearts of most Americans by acting the way these people are acting. You're not going to convince, most Americans that you need to be here and that we need to sympathize with you when you're out in American streets burning American flags, waving the Mexico flag. Like, this is not how you go about things. This is not going to make, most sane people. It will convince a bunch of crazy weirdos like usual, but most sane people aren't going to sympathize with this. Most sane people are going to look at this and say, hey, yeah, well, I'm glad we're sending these people away. And all of these, even legal migrants that are here, protesting, waving their flags, chanting death to America and all this other nonsense, maybe they need to go home too. It's just like the BLM protest. Do you think that, at the end of the day, more people were sympathetic towards that cause at the end when it was all said and done? No. In fact, now we're more racially divided than ever. So these protests won't end well. And if you ask me, I think they're gathering places for people who are here illegally, and they're making it easier for themselves to get caught. So Just an all-around interesting situation. I'm going to continue to monitor these protests. If I notice anything interesting and outruley, I'll be here to report on it. But for now, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.